I'm going to show you guys how I made $10,000 in 6 trades in 1 month. Are you guys ready? Let's get to it. So I preach this in my Discord and I teach my students that 5 to 10% per month is very safe. I do have a lot of students though that make more than that, and there are some months that I make a lot more. But on average, I'm between 8 to 12% per month. And when you're dealing with millions of dollars, that's a lot of return. Specifically in my challenge account, I ran 6 trades in a 5-week window spanning the last day of July to the first week of September, which is pretty much my August returns. Now, my account, my challenge account that is, has $166,000, almost $167,000 in it right now. However, during the month of August, I only had about $88,000 in this account. I brought some money over from my large account as I'm bringing a lot of money over from Schwab. I don't want to use it anymore. I want to use Robinhood. So I'm consistently bringing some money over. But right now, we're going to talk about the month of August, where I only had $88,000 in the account, and yet I made $10,000. This is about a 12% return. Let's go over the spreadsheet. I'll show you each of the trades I made, and I'll show you guys the chart, why I got in, why I sold, and really how you guys can do this too, making consistent returns monthly. And that's what I teach my students in the Discord. A lot of my students are up 10 to 15% in their first month, another 10 to 15% in their second month. And I have students that have made up to 30 or 35% in their first 2 months. In fact, I have students that started with $8,000. Now they have $17,000. I have other students that started with $35,000 and now they have $70,000. I also have many students that start in the negative, where they have a $10,000 account and they're down in their trades and they're negative $3,000 or $4,000. I've turned them into a positive. I specifically have 2 students that had $10,000 accounts, were in the negative $5,000, and now they're in the positive $7,000. That's an $11,000 to $12,000 return in 3 months on a $10,000 portfolio. That's double. That's 100% return. If you guys like what you see in this video and you would love to grow your financial freedom to get better in the stock market, I would love to help you. I offer training course, Discord, and one-on-one coaching. This way I can help you achieve your financial goals. You guys can set up investorcorey.com right there on the screen. The link is in the information box below. It's a very serious mentorship, so you have to be committed and ready to learn, and I will be committed and ready to teach. So here we go. Here is my trades for August 2024. I got into Robinhood at $16.50, 200 shares, sold them at $22.21, and made $1,142. I got into Nike at $83.25, which I made a video about on my YouTube channel. You guys can watch that. It's right there. And I got out at $89.10 when they got a new CEO. 500 shares. I also collected the dividend, which is not included in this total, and I made $2,925. On Starbucks, I got in at $73.80 and out at $79.32 when they got a new CEO. I told everyone, buy Starbucks, it's going to run. Well, I did that with only 100 shares, made $552. Then I got Affirm, where I dollar cost averaged and added shares and got an average price of $27.85 and sold at $33.66 on earnings, making $2,330. Then recently on Wayfair, I purchased 200 shares at $42.10 and sold them at $47, making $980. But I also made another trade on Wayfair back at the beginning of August, purchasing 300 shares at $47.98 and getting out at $52.74, making another $1,426. Now, if I add the $185 dividend, that would give me $95.40. So $95.40 on $88,000 at the time. So this is like 11.5% return. So let's go ahead and look at Robinhood. And I also sold covered calls, which are not including in that as well. But I purchased for $16.50 and I sold them for $22.21. And I purchased these shares right around August 5th, somewhere right here on the dip, right when it dipped down to $16.50. I didn't quite get the bottom, but it's pretty close. So I got in down there and I exited somewhere right about there. So all of this was profit for me. And that's how I read the bottom on Robinhood. And when it ran, it consolidated here. I knew it was going to run again, and it did. And I got out a little bit early, but the price right now is pretty much almost identical, only 20 cents different. So I picked a decent price. I just didn't get out all the way at the top. Now, if we go ahead and look at the next trade, I picked up Nike. I got them for $83.25, sold for $89.10. I sold Nike very recently on the run with a new CEO. So we'll look at Nike. Here's my dividends, 500 shares, On my YouTube video, you guys were able to see me purchase the 500 shares, and I sold them. I believe the date that I sold the shares was the 19th of September, which was just a little over a week ago. And I sold for $89.10. So right about here, it was peaking up. I sold it. It went a little higher. I missed the top, but that's fine. It happens. And when I entered Nike, I entered right here for the dividend on August 20th. I saw a lot of consolidation, so I got in. It did pull back, but I realized that with earnings coming up, and I knew the situation with the CEO was kind of sitting out there for a possibility that he would either step down or something would change. So I had a lot of confluence in that. Plus, it consolidated a lot at $78 and started coming back up. And I held intentionally knowing I was going to go to earnings. Everything worked out on that trade exactly as I had planned. Now we look at Starbucks. Starbucks, I got in at $73.80, out at $79.32. This is when they also had an issue with their CEO, and I'll show you exactly when I got in. So here we go, guys. Got in July 26th on Starbucks and got out July 30th. So it's right at the end of July. So I got in right around here somewhere. And then I got out right around here somewhere. When it peaked up somewhere right here. So I got in right there. And I had a lot of confluence with Starbucks because it was below the 100-day, but moving its way back up. And it was oversold, and I knew earnings was coming up and it was going to run. So on earnings, I sold out and made that profit, which was very easy. If I had have held a little bit longer, I could have made a ton more money, but I didn't. And so I'm left with the profits I made. However, it's all about taking profits and not being greedy. Now, next we have Affirm, $27.85. $33.66 is where I took profits and I sold on September 12th. So looking at Affirm, you guys will see that I purchased 100 shares at $29.35, $28, $26.90, and $27.09, giving me an average cost that you see here of $27.85. I then sold all of my Affirm shares at $33.66 on August 28th. So we go ahead and I'll show you guys on Affirm exactly what I did here. From the 22nd to the 24th, I was dollar cost averaging, which was back here. So in this area right here to here, I was dollar cost averaging along here, knowing there's a lot of solid ground here, a lot of solid support. And even though it dropped a bit, it came right back up and I exited up here. Now, I could have made a lot more money, but I was just taking profits. And I was okay with taking $2,300 in profits, but I could have made closer to $5,000. So if I'd have played my cards a little bit stronger on Starbucks and Affirm, this would have been more like $13,000, which would be like 16%. But I was playing it safe. I didn't need to be aggressive. I have a $2 million account. I also have almost $100,000 account at the time. So I didn't really have to play it aggressive, just taking profits and moving them off the table. Now we look at Wayfair, which I've done twice. I did it with 300 shares first, getting it at $47.98 and out at $52.74. The first set of shares were back here. I purchased some at $48.67, some at $51, some at $51.50. So July 19th to 24th. So we'll go to Wayfair, the 19th to the 24th. So I got in on the 19th, which would be right around here. And I dollar cost average to the 24th, which was up here. So I was buying like kind of in here. And then I sold all my shares for $52.74 on August 1st. So August 1st would have been right at the top here. So I sold right at the top. I bought all my shares in here and sold them up here. Now, when the stock was dropping here, I had a lot of confluence because there was one area of interest, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the list goes on. So the bottom for me was around $48, $49. So I knew when it started running up, I'd take some profits because it hit the resistance, the ceiling, so to speak, at $58 and $56. So I ended up getting out sooner than that, like up here somewhere, just taking my profits along the way. And you really can't go broke taking profits. If I see the candles getting big and green and I got lots of profits on the table, I'll cut them. I don't allow greed or fear to get in the way. I just take profits and I move on. And $52.74 was actually pretty conservative considering that would have been down here. So I only took this run right there. I could have got another $3 per share, but I didn't take that chance because it started hitting a resistance at 54 and pulling back. So I just got out. Now, the last trade was the second trade on Wayfair, which I got in at 42.10 and out at 47 with 200 shares. And that is right here. 200 shares at 42.10, and I got out $47, making $1,000. And this was from September 9th to 12th. So on September 9th, right here, I got in at $42. On the 12th, which would have been up here, I got at 47, like right about there. So I got in right here to right here. And I played this. Now, I could have played this longer as well. Now, if I had played this a little more aggressively, I could have got $3,000 or $4,000 more dollars between the Wayfair trades and maybe another $3,000 on Affirm and maybe another few thousand from Starbucks. If I wanted to play aggressive, this could have been $16,000, $17,000, which would be 20%. But I played it safe, took my profits, and made almost $10,000 on $88,000 account. And this is what I'm telling you guys. You can make 10% per month on your portfolio, 5 to 10% very consistently and very safely. If you guys want to make consistent profits like this in the market, I can show you exactly how to do that. I offer a full training course, full Discord, and one-on-one coaching. I have students that started out with 8,000, they now have 20,000. Other students started with 300,000, they now have over 400,000. And this is in a matter of 2 to 3 months. Average of 10 to 15% my students see in a month-to-month basis consistently. So you have to be committed and serious to learn. You show up committed, I show up committed, and I will teach you everything you need to know. You guys will learn more with me than you will anywhere else. I can't wait to help you guys out. You can sign up at investorcorey.com right there on the screen or in the information box below. I can't wait to speak with you and help you grow your portfolio. So you guys can see it's very easy to make these profits with my knowledge in the market, the candlestick patterns, the movement of the stock. I was pretty much taking profits early. I didn't even realize my full profits, and I made 11% on the month. And I do this month in and month out every single month. You learn to trade the right way. You can consistently make profits every single month. And usually you can avoid losses by not letting emotions get in the way, not picking bad stocks. You want to pick good ones, and patience. If it goes against you, wait for it to recover. Sometimes that won't happen in a month. Sometimes it will. So when you have these three things when you're trading, good stocks, fundamentals and technicals line up, you have control over your emotions, and you're patient, you can take care of your portfolio and have very little losses, if any at all, as long as you are able to commit to these things like the psychology, like I've been explaining. You don't want to be impatient. Let time do its thing. Time in the market beats timing the market. This is a very safe and consistent way to trade, as you guys have seen, to bring in good profits consistently, month in, month out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for being here.